What's up, Clashers? Welcome back for another video on Builder Hall 4 attack strategies, where we are going to further expand our 3-star arsenal. Today's video is going to be about bombers. I really feel these guys deserve a video of their own because they are just so much fun, let me tell you. Unfortunately, there aren't many army compositions where they actually fit in. These guys do need their giants. Without the giants, they will live a very short and miserable life. But I do have two army compositions to show you that are very capable of 3-starring. The first one will be bombers paired up with giants and archers, which is actually a very strong composition and it can be performed on a great variety of bases. And the second one is not as strong, but it's a lot more fun because it uses only bombers and giants. The video will include 6 3-star replays, 3 of each, and I will be explaining the attacks in all of these replays. Some of you requested that I include live attacks, so at the end of this video I will actually attack live with the one condition that I have to use bombers. Whatever composition I choose, it has to include bombers, so I really hope I don't get matched against Builder Hall 5. Alright, let's have a look at the first attack. We're going to start off using the giants, bombers, and archers. And let me just say one thing before we start. I strongly recommend that you upgrade your bombers to at least level 4 before you try this. Why? Because at level 4 you get 1 extra bomber per army camp, and that's going to be very important, and you're going to see why here in this attack. The attack style is very similar to giants and archers. We will start from one side with giants tanking and having the archers and bombers behind, but with one difference. And this is kind of important. Sometimes when you use bombers, I think all of you have noticed that they kind of get stuck on walls and they don't do what they're supposed to. They're not actually helping the army. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy 1 bomber in each corner and then 1 bomber in the middle. And if we do that, then the side bombers will actually follow this wall and destroy it as the army advances through the base. And this will help a lot because the side bombers will help with some of the buildings on the sides, and the middle bomber will actually help with some buildings in the middle until he eventually sometimes gets stuck on one of the side walls. But the most important thing is that we keep the wave structure of the army like a wave formation through the base. So in this attack we don't have anything on the outside of the entry point. I'm going to enter from the bottom here, so I don't have to use my archers prior to the attack. I just start with the giants, a wave of giants, and then 1 bomber in each corner and 1 in the middle. So they're going to open up the entire wall here, and then the archers behind. And notice that the crusher is on the other side of this base, which is always the way to attack when you're using giants. But with this composition, having the bombers, you can actually attack some bases where the crusher is almost in the middle because they have the splash damage, right? So they can help out a lot with the crusher. Yeah, so same thing. Here you see the crusher is at the very end, so it doesn't matter if the giants die, but at this point the base is defeated. But we're going to see another replay here where the crusher is actually almost in the middle of the base. Moving on to the second attack, it's a similar base. 2 minor differences. The first thing that you'll notice is that the wall is not completely closed, which means once you deploy your giants, because it's not too far to the openings, then they will start walking around the wall. So that means you have to be very quick with your bombers. Or you can deploy 1 giant to tank for the bombers, and then once they have opened the wall, then you can deploy the rest of your giants. I didn't do this, so it was a mistake from my side, but you can do that. The second difference is that the crusher is actually almost in the middle. I'm going to attack from this side right here, so the crusher will not be the last defense. But if we spread out our giants in a wave-like formation and the entire army going through the base in a wave, then not all of the giants will stack on the crusher. So it doesn't matter if 1 or 2 of them die, as long as you have a few giants on the other side, keeping the defenses busy. Also, I did remove the clock tower beforehand because I wanted to create a funnel for the rest of my troops. So notice that a lot of the giants went to the right side, but then they split again. So 2 giants are going to head for that crusher. And they could have died, but they actually survived. Let's see here. I think it gets 2 hits on them before the crusher dies. But I do have other giants that walked from the other side of the builder hall. That would have tanked for the rest of this attack anyway. But yeah, my bombers died or flew away, I don't know. But it still works. And remember guys, it's not a complete disaster if you can't manage to get a 3-star every single time. I mean, if you manage to get a 100% 2-star, then it's probably going to be enough. Because you only have to do better than the other guy, right? But yeah, keep practicing and you're definitely going to start seeing some 3-stars. Third and last attack with this army composition is going to be against this base. And since the crusher is at the end of this base, naturally I will enter from the opposite side. Again, I deployed all my giants, but I'm going to remind you that you can deploy 1 giant and then your bombers to open up the wall, and then the rest of your giants, so you don't have to rush the deployment. So yeah, keep that in mind. So I deployed my bombers to open up the wall, and then after that the archers behind them, because there was nothing on the side that I had to remove to create a funnel. And due to the placement of the defenses in this base, all my giants are going to get funneled on one side, which potentially can be quite problematic, because they are going to stack up under that crusher, and they will all of them die. But this is a good example of how good it is to have the crusher at the very end of your attack, because if all of your giants die, then you have a lot of archers and bombers left to handle the rest of the defenses. And I mean, at this point, even if your entire army dies, you would have gotten a 100% 2-star, which is most likely going to be enough for the actual win. So yeah, that was this army composition and this strategy. And now let's have a look at the second army composition using only giants and bombers. This is actually a Builder Hall 5. And one thing to remember with this army composition is that it moves slower than the one where you use your archers. So it can be better to start from the long side of a base. And looking at where the crusher is, naturally I wanted to start from the opposite side. And it's equally important now that you drop your bombers in 3 groups. So you want the side ones to take care of the walls and 2 in the middle. And try to spread out your giants as best as you can. I didn't get my middle giants to enter where I wanted, but it worked. It worked out anyway. So the one thing to remember with the bombers is that they have the splash damage, right? So when you look at these bases, if you notice that there are some defenses that are right next to each other, then your bomber's splash damage can actually damage all the defensive buildings around them. Now look at this bomber right here at the top that's going to start firing on the air bombs. He's actually going to damage the double cannon and the crusher. And he's also out of range, so the double cannon can't kill him. And this same thing can be done with the lowered archer tower. And you know, you can really use this to your advantage when you plan your attacks before you start an attack. If you look at the base and you see either the double cannon or the lowered archer tower right next to another building, then you know these bombers can destroy them from an out of range position, as long as there aren't any other defenses that are shooting at them. So yeah, keep that in mind when you plan your attacks. Alright, next up we have a familiar Builder Hall 4 base. I showed you how to attack this base in my previous video using giants, bombers, and archers, but in that base the crusher was more exposed, so it was a lot easier to take it out with your archers before you deploy your giants. But here we have buildings in front of the crusher, so here's an alternative way to attack this base using 6 bombers. And notice at the back end, all of the defensive buildings are right next to each other, which is great when you use your bombers, because of their splash damage. But my giants took a lot of damage here because, you know, this attack does go a little bit slower. So I think 1 giant survived at the end, but then again, all of my bombers survived. So 6 bombers with all of that splash damage. yeah, it's a huge advantage. And you're most likely going to 3-star this base using this army composition. But you can always choose. It all depends on how exposed the Crusher is. If it's very exposed and you can reach it with your archers, then you might as well use the other army composition. Last attack I'm going to show you with this army composition is against this base. Notice here there is a defensive building on the outside, so I knew my giants were going to head there before they entered the base. But again, I enter from the long side of the base, and this time the Crusher is not at the end. But since the entire army is in a wave, it doesn't matter if some of the giants die, because the rest of the giants will survive and they will tank for the other bombers. So here again, look at this bomber doing splash damage on that archer tower. It wasn't enough to kill it, but it did a lot of damage. Alright, so now you know how to attack with giants and bombers, but remember, the most important part is that 1 minute scouting time before your attack and choosing the right army composition for that specific base, because none of these strategies will work on all bases. So, it's finally time for the live attack. I really hope I don't embarrass myself here. If you want to see more live attacks, let me know in the comment section, because I'm actually thinking about making a separate video just for live attacks to show kind of how I choose my army compositions and strategies depending on what bases I'm matched up with. So if you want to see that, let me know. I'm also thinking about going to Builder Hall 5 to start making Builder Hall 5 videos. But yeah, let me know what you want to see, and let's do this live attack. God, I really hope I get matched up with a Builder Hall 4 here. And remember, the condition is that I have to use bombers. Alright, let's see what we find. Of course we find a Builder Hall 5, and he has the mortar. This is gonna be very difficult. If he didn't have the mortar, I would love to attack from this side, obviously, because the Crusher is there. But that mortar needs to die quickly, so I'm forced to attack from this side. But the good thing is that if we use bombers here, they can start damaging that Crusher, hopefully before the giants reach it. And I think I'm gonna try to aim most of my giants on the sides. Actually, I'm gonna split my giants in 2 groups, not in 3 groups. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll use archers too. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do this, and a bomber on each. A bomber on each side, and a bomber in the middle. Let's add an extra giant and the archers. Oh no, my archers! No! They're gonna get killed by that Crusher. Damn it. Anyway, the most important thing is that the mortar gets killed quickly. Come on, before it fires. Good. This is looking good so far. Hopefully we're gonna get a 2-star at least, because he's a Builder Hall 5 and he has the battle machine as well. So he might do really well on our base. We are gonna have a look at his attack as well on his replay, because I'm very excited to see what he can do on my base with his battle machine. Hopefully we're defending against it. This giant's gonna die. Okay, no protection left. My troops are gonna die, unfortunately. But 75% 2-star, I'm really happy with that actually, against the Builder Hall 5. And we won! That's awesome. 53% 1-star. He didn't get my Town Hall. Let's have a look. So he is going to attack from this corner, uses giants. And what are those? Portable cannons. I don't even know what their name is. And the battle machine, but he doesn't have anything to breach the wall. Oh, look at those giants. They're getting crushed. He doesn't have anything to breach the wall, so his troops are going to walk around. There goes all. Oh, look at that cannon. It's going to start firing on my Town Hall, but my cannon can kill it. That's awesome. I actually saw this base on Stormcrown's YouTube channel, and so far it's been working really good. It's been holding off against a few Builder Hall 5, so I'm really happy with that. 53%, that's awesome. Alright guys, that's it for this time. I'm going to wrap it up here, but let me know in the comment section what you want to see in the next video. If you want to see some more live attacks, or do you want me to go to Builder Hall 5 and start exploring new strategies with the battle machine, I'm up for anything really. I do have a second account that's at Builder Hall 3 right now, which I can use for making more videos on lower levels. I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.